Welcome back to the Business Book Club, where we take a deep dive into transformational ideas. Today we're unpacking Principles, the really seminal work by Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
It really is. And this book, it's not just, a business guide or a memoir. It feels more like a philosophy for life and work.
Definitely. Distilled from, decades of his experiences?
Yeah.
The highs, the lows, the mistakes.
Exactly. So our mission today is basically to distill the core ideas, the practical insights from these principles, give you a shortcut maybe to understanding this powerful framework.
And how you can apply it, whether you're an entrepreneur or, frankly, just navigating life.
Okay, let's dive in.
So, what's great is Dalio doesn't just give you the principles on a plate. He shows you the journey, the often pretty painful experiences that actually forged them.
Right, the why behind them.
Exactly. He starts way back talking about being just an ordinary kid from Long Island, son of a jazz musician, calls himself a worse than ordinary student. Not exactly a Wall Street prodigy from day one.
Huh. So not the typical finance guru origin story. What were those early moments then, the ones that really started shaping his thinking?
Well, one big one he points to is the Nixon shock in 1971.
Yeah.
When Nixon took the U.S. off the gold standard.
Okay.
Dalio watched the stock market jump like 4% the next day. And it completely baffled him at the time. He expected chaos.
Right. Seems counterintuitive.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just some market blip for him. It was this profound lesson that history repeats and that cause and effect relationships drive everything. His takeaway was basically, if you don't understand what happened to other people in other times, you won't know how to handle things when they happen again.
So it sparked this analytical, pattern-seeking approach, looking beyond just the immediate numbers.
Precisely. It wasn't just economics, it was systems thinking. Human behavior, market reactions, the whole machine.
Interesting. Were there other, maybe more personal bumps along the road that pushed him?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He talks pretty openly about a huge, painful loss he took early on in pork bellies. Wiped him out. Yeah. And that really hammered home the lesson about risk control, about being overconfident. Around the same time, he also got fired from Shearson.
Right. I heard about that. Wasn't there some unconventional stuff involved?
Uh-huh. The stories include hiring a stripper for a lecture, even punching his boss, apparently. Classic Dalio, maybe?
Wow. Okay.
But those experiences, as, jarring as they sound, they instilled this deep sense of humility, which became absolutely critical later on.
I can imagine. So right after that firing, 1975, he starts Bridgewater Associates from his apartment.
Yep, two-bedroom apartment. And right from the start, he had this idea, this feeling that meaningful work and meaningful relationships were way more important than just chasing money.
Which is maybe not what you'd expect from a hedge fund founder.
Right. He saw money as just a tool, no real value in itself. It's about what it helps you achieve your real goals. And that shaped how he approached investing. He started trying to model markets as machines.
As machines? How so?
Like looking at concrete things, livestock, grain, rainfall affecting crops, trying to map out all the cause and effect links to predict outcomes, less gut feeling, more system dynamics.
Building a predictive engine, almost. But then came the real test, right? The 1982 crash. He calls it the abyss.
Yeah, that was pivotal. He basically went broke. He says he couldn't even afford a plane ticket. It wasn't just a financial hit. It felt existential.
How did that change him? I mean, going from thinking you've got it figured out to being totally wiped out.
It gave him, in his words, the humility to balance aggressiveness. That's the key phrase. It flipped his mindset. Instead of thinking I'm right, he started constantly asking, how do I know I'm right?
Okay, that's a powerful shift. How did he answer that question for himself?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. He realized the best way was to find other really smart, independent thinkers who disagreed with him.
Seek out disagreement. Intentionally.
Yes. Engage in what he calls thoughtful disagreement. Use those different perspectives to stress test his own ideas, to raise the probability of actually being right. That became the absolute foundation for Bridgewater's culture, the idea of meritocracy.
That's fascinating, especially in finance, which can be so ego-driven. How do you make thoughtful disagreement work without it just becoming arguments?
It comes down to understanding people, he realized. He saw that people's greatest weaknesses are the flip sides of their greatest strengths. Someone super creative might be less organized.
Sure.
And he observed that successful people find ways to compensate for their weaknesses, often by partnering with others who have complementary strengths. Unsuccessful people tend not to. This led him to the principle of actually embracing your weaknesses, Don't hide them. Deal with them.
Okay, so self-awareness again and building teams that cover those gaps. And this period also led to his holy grail of investing. What's that about? Sounds lofty.
It does, but the concept is actually pretty profound. It's about getting both low risk and high returns simultaneously, which sounds impossible.
Right. Usually it's a trade-off.
Exactly. But he figured out you could achieve it by combining lots of good, uncorrelated bets. Think about diversifying not just across stocks, but across different asset classes, different countries, things that genuinely move independently.
So like stocks and bonds, but much more sophisticated.
Way more sophisticated. If you combine, say, 15 or 20 good, uncorrelated return streams, you can dramatically lower the overall risk without lowering the expected return nearly as much. It's about finding that hidden path to having as much of both as possible instead of just accepting the trade-off.
That insight must have been huge for Bridgewater. So these life lessons, these hard-won insights, they feed directly into his core life principles, his personal operating system. The first one is embrace reality and deal with it. What's the essence there?
He basically says life throws problems at you constantly. Think of each one as a puzzle. If you solve it, you get a gem, a principle to help you avoid similar problems down the road.
Okay, like learning from mistakes, but systemizing it.
Right. And this leads straight into his 5-step process for getting what you want out of life. It's a feedback loop.
Let's break that down.
Okay, step 1, set clear goals. Be ambitious. Know what you're aiming for. Step 2, identify problems that stand in your way. And don't tolerate them. See them as signals for potential improvement. Be specific about the problem, not just the symptom.
Okay, goals, problems.
Step 3, diagnose those problems. Get to the absolute root causes. Ask why things are happening. Who needs to do what differently?
Diagnosis, then.
Step 4, design a plan, a change to get around the problem, like writing a script for how things should work. Consider the ripple effects, the second and third order consequences.
Right, think it through. And step 5?
Step 5, do it. Push through to get it done. Requires discipline, sticking with the plan.
Goals, problems, diagnosis, design, do. It sounds very logical, almost engineering-like.
It is. And crucial to making it work is his idea of the 2 U's.
The 2 U's, explain that.
He says you need to distinguish between you as the designer of your life machine, the strategic objective you, and you as the worker. Within that machine, the emotional, in-the-moment you.
Ah, the planner versus the doer who gets stressed or emotional.
Exactly. The biggest mistake, he argues, is letting the emotional worker you run the show without stepping back to let the objective designer you analyze the situation and make adjustments. Failing to see yourself objectively leads to repeating the same mistakes.
That requires some serious self-awareness and detachment. It links to his idea of evolve or die, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That evolutionary cycle applies to everything: people, companies, nature. Adapt and improve, or you fall behind. He really emphasizes that pain is necessary for growth. No pain, no gain isn't just a gym slogan. For him, it's a fundamental law. You have to push through discomfort to get stronger, to evolve.
Which brings us nicely to radical open-mindedness and radical transparency. Why are these so non-negotiable for Dalio?
Because he genuinely believes there's nothing to fear from knowing the truth. Untruths, hidden problems, those are the scary things. Open-mindedness and transparency are tools for rapid learning and change. They help you get past your ego and your blind spots.
How do you cultivate that, practically?
Well, he's a big proponent of meditation, actually. To build that calmness, that equanimity, so you can see things clearly even when things are chaotic.
Interesting.
And crucially, actively seek out believable people, people with a track record of being right in a certain area who disagree with you. Triangulate the truth. His rule of thumb is, if multiple believable people say you're wrong and you can't see it, assume you're the biased one.
That takes serious humility. Okay, so let's shift these ideas into the workplace. His work principles create this famous idea meritocracy at Bridgewater. What does that actually mean day to day?
It means it's not a top-down dictatorship, and it's not a free-for-all democracy either. It's a system designed so that the best ideas win based on merit, not on who shouts loudest or has the highest rank. It thrives on independent thinking, on challenging ideas. He says it's the opposite of a cult.
How do you even start building that? It starts with hiring, presumably.
Big time. He stresses WHO is more important than the what. Hire for character, common sense, creativity first. Skills can often be taught. Look for people you genuinely want to share your life with, people who ask great questions, people who will challenge you. He also notes that, school performance isn't always the best predictor of real-world success compared to character and capability.
Makes sense. And once you have those people, how do you keep that radical transparency going in a big organization? Sounds tense.
It is intense. At Bridgewater, for example, most meetings are recorded and available for anyone to review.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It promotes learning, accountability, and a sense of justice because decisions aren't made behind closed doors.
And they use technology to help with objectivity too,
They
right?
do. Dalio talks about using computers early on to kick his ass in chess just to see the power of systematic decision-making. Bridgewater developed tools like the famous dot collector.
Explain the dot collector.
It's basically a tool used in meetings where people give real-time feedback on others' thinking using dots. They rate contributions based on different attributes like, is this person being creative, logical, open-minded? It helps quantify people's believability on different dimensions and track performance objectively over time. They also build detailed people profiles.
So it's trying to make subjective assessments more data-driven.
Exactly. While he says human judgment is still supreme for the most important calls, these tools help surface biases and make decisions about roles and ideas more objective.
Which supports the whole thoughtful disagreement idea. It's not just random opinions. It's weighted by demonstrated believability.
Precisely. And the goal of that disagreement isn't to win. It's to find out what is true and what to do about it. Requires being assertive in stating your view, but also genuinely open-minded to being wrong.
How do you manage those disagreements productively?
He says you need to understand your role based on relative believability in that specific situation. Are you the teacher? More believable. Then explain your reasoning. Are you the student? Less believable. Then ask questions to understand. Or are you peers? Then you debate openly.
That framework seems helpful. What about management style? He talks about managing as an owner.
Yeah, the idea is to structure things, especially incentives, so people feel and act like owners, like they're spending their own money, taking personal responsibility for outcomes. His point is, if you don't feel the consequences of your actions, good or bad, you won't truly take ownership.
Creates that direct link. Okay, and the final big principle that ties a lot of this together, learning from mistakes. What's the core message there?
It's pretty blunt. Don't worry about looking good. Worry about achieving your goals. He sees accurate criticism as incredibly valuable feedback. You learn from failures, sure, but also analyze your successes. And crucially, understand that the pain of mistakes is often psychological. You have to confront it, push through it to gain the wisdom.
That feels like a good summary of the whole ethos. So bringing it all together, what does this mean for you, the listener, if you're an entrepreneur or just someone trying to achieve things?
Well, Dalio's principles offer some really actionable stuff. First, maybe define your own principles. Seriously, think about, what do you want? What do you believe is true? How will you behave? Write them down, codify them. It forces clarity.
Right. Make your operating system explicit. Second,
Embrace that 5-step process. See problems not as setbacks, but as puzzles. Get systematic. Goals, problems, diagnosis, design, do. Turn challenges into a repeatable improvement cycle.
third, cultivate radical open-mindedness. Actively look for smart people who disagree with you. Challenge your own biases. Remember, the truth isn't scary, being wrong and not knowing it is.
Fourth, build your own idea meritocracy. Whether it's your team, your family, whatever, surround yourself with people of character and capability. Create a space where the best ideas win, no matter where they come from.
And finally,
See your organization, or even your life, as a machine. Step back. Look at it objectively. What are the inputs, the processes, the outputs? How can you tweak it, design it better for better results?
ultimately, I think Dalio's message is that the real satisfaction isn't just hitting the goals, it's in the process and struggling well, as he puts it, navigating the ups and downs, learning, growing, constantly refining that machine.
Exactly. It's about the journey of evolution.
Well, if you found these insights valuable, remember to subscribe to the Business Book Club. We bring you deep dives like this into the ideas shaping business and life. We'll be back soon with another stack of sources to help you stay well-informed.
Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.